Welcome. It's the Matic. It's the illest blurred in the land. Welcome back to Ill Blur Matic. Welcome back, legends. I'm back today with a new movie review on Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. So the first thing that I thought that was a really good setup was just the introduction to the movie, meaning we're introduced to the Bat family. We see Batman from another Earth having to learn to work with others, because you have to remember the other Bat family members, whether it's Huntress, Dick Grayson's Robin, Damian Wayne Robin. This Batman rather works alone. So we see him learning to work with other superheroes. But also, what I actually thought was a cool concept or approach to this, we see Batman failing to save Commissioner Gordon. Wow. And we see how that played a factor to him wanting to stop pretty much Killer Croc, also Solomon Grundy, but also having the teamwork ethics right there where Batman's working with others. Because remember, this Batman of this particular Earth doesn't like working well with others. He's not a team player. So that concept was really interesting to see him working with Huntress. Like I say, even Terry McGinnis. I like that we are finally introduced to Terry McGinnis as an older Batman Beyond. I thought that was really dope. I was like, yo, Terry's getting some screen time. And then we even see the Bat family throughout this movie. Now, the next thing that I've been wanting to see is the Bat story on Supergirl meeting Anti-Monitor. And this movie delivered on that. We see him being like a father figure to Supergirl, you know what I'm saying, and Supergirl being a daughter to him. Bringing her back to good health. We also see some betrayal there, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it, because Supergirl wants to go back to her planet Krypton, and Anti-Monitor promised her, say, look, once we're done here, you can go back to Krypton. And Supergirl found out that her father-like figure lied to her. I was like, wow, talk about a plot twist, right? And we see pretty much that now she can't go back to her world. Even when Anti-Monitor tells her that her cousin is alive and is on the planet Earth, he even intervenes. So he's kind of like an overprotective father figure to Supergirl. But does Supergirl care about Anti-Monitor? Yes. He's kind of like I said, the father that she never really got to know. And we see that in the movie. That does take form in the movie. And I was like, okay, you know what? We see the father-daughter relationship dynamics. The one most interesting thing, because I'm not really familiar with this character, is Spectrum. We see his actual backstory, and I was like, yo, backstory was very dark. He had come from a family that was very toxic. His mother and father hated each other. They even hated his existence, which I thought was crazy. And we see him go through a very dark life. Even when he was at school, he was picked on, he was bullied. He eventually turns to school against one another. And it was amusing to him, you know what I'm saying? Because after all the things he had been through, he saw that as humor by, pretty much using his powers against these people. Even him suffering. We see Spectrum suffer when one of the other Justice League members curses him to go to other realities, and he still is suffering because he's seeing all this chaos, this turmoil, this hate. And eventually Anti-Monitor comes to his aid to be like a father figure to him. It seems like Anti-Monitor just want kids. that was the first thing that came to my mind. So you know what? He got a daughter. Now he got this new son. And we do see that he is envious of Supergirl. He wants Supergirl's, you know what I'm saying? He wants that affection that Anti-Monitor is giving Supergirl. He wants that. And we see there's kind of a sibling of, you know, rivalry, more so on Spectrum side of things. Supergirl ain't really thinking about him like that. The other thing that was explored with this movie that was nicely done is seeing Superman die a couple times. I was like, so is Superman gonna go through some things? And also the dynamics between him and Supergirl. When Supergirl finally sees her cousin, I guess she's like shell shocked or just surprised that she will finally see her cousin Kal-El, also known as Superman, in that relationship dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Seeing him before he's getting erased out of reality. Cool approach and unique approach to it. I thought that was something that, you know, you see maybe her wanting to say like, yo, let's bond, you know, this is my cousin. It wasn't completely explored, but you know what? It's there. It's in the movie. The other thing that I thought with this movie that was kind of interesting to some degree was the team ups, like I said, with the Bat Family, Solomon Grundy with another Justice League member, not Solomon Grundy, excuse me, Grodd and another Justice League member. Even Wonder Woman and her mother from another Earth, because her Earth, her mother's dead, and we see that relationship kind of taking place with her talking to the mother from the other Earth, saying that they don't trust men. Men are pretty much our slaves to some degree. That was explored, and probably just her mother is not the mother that she's thinking that she is, because you have to remember this is not the one from her Earth. This is from another Earth. And even just the action in this movie was actually somewhat good. I wanted some more. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So let's get into the things I did not like about this movie and then my overall review. Now, the thing I did not like about this movie was the runtime. Honestly, I don't know what's going on at Warner Brothers Animation, but I felt like this movie could have stretched to be a 1 hour movie. I mean, the first movie was 93 minutes. This movie is 90 minutes. DC, Warner Brothers Animation, can we get an hour movie? An hour and 30 minutes? Hour and 45 minutes? Hour and 75 minutes? Come on, man. That was a big problem. The other problem with this movie was a cliffhanger. This ended off in a cliffhanger, and I'm just like, here we go again. Oh my God. How many cliffhangers are y'all gonna give us? And I felt like the cliffhanger should have been the stretch that the movie needed. Could have added some more scenes, team ups with the movie, and that could have worked. The other thing that did not work with this movie was the team ups. It wasn't enough team ups. I was like, for it to be a 90-minute movie, we could have at least established some more team ups. And maybe because the story of Anti-Monitor and Spectrum were included in this movie, so maybe they weren't able to add enough depth to have these other team ups that we should have had in this movie. And I'm disappointed by that. I am. I was like, man. And the last thing that stood out with this movie that was bad was we were introduced to Flash briefly. It was just like he made a cameo, all right? And that was it. It didn't explain why we're seeing the Flash. I know Batman mentioned that something happened to the Flash that confirmed that he may have been dead. And this movie did not explore the layer of that. Now, let's get into the review. Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2 will have to be a C plus. All right. It's not better than the first movie. I just hope that the third movie is really good. I mean, come on. Like, if this is the Tomorrow animated verse and this is supposed to be the final movie for it, could it be better than the second movie? But have you guys seen Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2? You tell me in comments, guys. A blurred living world. Thanks so much for commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, and I'm out.